Welcome back to another episode of A Very Petty Podcast.
Today we'll be talking about getting high.
All things indoor kids versus outdoor kids.
We'll be touching on mental health for men specifically.
And all the petty things we do as parents.
Basically it's half term and we're talking mostly about parenting.
Cheers.
Cheers. Cheers, boo.
Iced coffees are out, which means spring must be springing.
We're halfway through half term. Fighting the good fight. That's so really fresh. Sweet. What is in that?
Just made it. I had made you normal coffee.
What milk is it? Is that vanilla milk?
No, I think it's your milk.
No, it tastes good. Did you put sugar in it?
Yeah.
Okay, that's why.
Do not put sugar in your coffee.
Not a nice coffee, no.
Ugh.
How does my moustache look?
So good.
You're playing up for the camera. You've been mugging me off all week. I've been trying to grow a good moustache.
No, it's the fact that you bought a fucking beard comb and beard products and you don't even have a proper beard. It's so patchy.
It's not about the beard, guys. It's about the tash. I'm trying to grow the tash. I specifically spent about half hour at like 1 a.m. one night watching videos about how to grow a good tash. So I got myself a brush, comb, beard oil, and it's just all about maintaining. It's going to take about half a year to get a good full...
Where are we headed with this tash?
Just want it to be like...
Oh no, it's actually, I can't, because Christian does this really icky thing where he'll be sitting there and he doesn't know he's doing it, but he like puts his tash in his mouth. And I'm like, can you not do that? It's a real
I'm trying to save my dignity this time, please. And I just want good things said about me. I'm not feeling the negativity about my moustache. That means it's too long.
Yeah, okay? Gross.
So I just need to go and trim it. So I've got beard scissors as well. So
but where are you headed? Would you want...
What do you mean, where am I headed? I want to see what I look like with a moustache.
You want it thick and just a tash. Are you going to clean shave the rest of your face?
Not clean shave, no. I'll be like stubble.
Are you going to style it?
Depends on where it goes. I just want a standard grade moustache.
I'd say your moustache is pretty thick.
Thanks.
Compared to the rest of your beard.
Oh, for crying out loud.
Oh, sorry, darling. It's just because I grew up with men that had really strong beards. So my grandpa always had a strong beard.
I've got a strong beard. I've got a similar beard to your grandpa. When it grows out, he had it.
Grandpa, if you're listening, I apologise.
He had like 8 years on me. So I'm still going through puberty.
I feel that you might be.
Yes, I am. So
because occasionally your voice does.
I'm going through a facial hair journey because it has been patchy and disgusting, and I also don't have a chin, so I need to find ways of disguising that and making my chin a bit more prominent. So I do need stubble constantly, otherwise my chin disappears. And the moustache is something a bit of something else, you know.
I do like the tash.
Going through a journey here. Do you like it or not?
I never said I didn't like the tash.
Are you taking the piss out of my beard and patching?
No, yeah, sorry, I do that. Do you know what it is? Because he's so much better looking than me that I have to degrade him so that I feel good enough to be with him. So if I put him down, make him feel less than.
That's a terrible thing to admit to.
Yeah.
Anyways, how you feeling, dear boy?
Well, I'm actually feeling much better, guys. I don't know what's wrong with me. I'm an all or nothing kind of girl, you know.
I've got a few answers to what's wrong with you.
Yeah, there's a lot wrong with me. Anyway, in the last couple of weeks, I've been testing out a new, pain medicine.
The ganja. But it's prescribed, so...
So I've got a prescription. Basically, we saw a specialist and he was like, to manage your inflammation, I think you should try medical marijuana. So you have to jump through hoops to get this, guys. It's not back alley, right? Promise. I had a meeting with a specialist. You basically have to have been on several rounds of medication and other stuff to be able to even qualify for this. And I ended up getting it via vape. Now you start via the vape because they can see how much you're using, and then that makes it easier for them to then change your prescription from vape to drops. Does that make sense?
No, not to me, no.
Okay, right. Basically, I've got it in a vape form at the moment because they want to be able to see how much I'm using to regulate my pain.
What's a drop then? Like a droplet on your tongue?
Yeah, the drops that go
that'd be
into
much
your tongue.
cooler.
Yeah.
Because I cuss people out for vapes all the time. I hate them with a passion.
So I'm not loving the vape, but basically here's what happened. The vape turned up and I didn't read the instructions on how to use it. So I just got back and it was 5 o'clock and I was like, I've got nowhere to be. Let me just try this because I was in pain. Anyway, so I got back. I was like, I'm going to hit the vape and just see if my pain is better because I was trying to come off the codeine. So I was having really bad migraines, whatever. So I go out to the garden because this thing is chungy, right? It proper stinks.
It does.
It does. And I go... I start choking. Like, I am choking. Anyway, come in and I'm like, just wait and see what happens.
Pull the whitey 0.5 seconds in.
No, that's not true.
you
No,
did.
do you know what a whitey is?
Yes, I do know what whitey is.
I didn't throw up.
I'm cool.
I
Yeah.
was so fucking high, guys. Like, I was so high. I just sat on the sofa and I was like, Christian, I'm so high. I don't like being this high. Like, the last time I was that high was when I used to smoke with my friend Mitchell, and he was like a regular smoker. And I would get unbelievably high, be jokes for like an hour. Then I would pull a whitey. On this occasion, I got the fucking munchies, right? We ordered a Chinese and I was loving the spring rolls because they were crispy. I don't know if I vocalised it to you at the time, but I was literally like, every bite, I was like, oh, this is so good. And then after, I was in every cupboard just scoffing everything crunchy. I was like, mini eggs, crisps, crackers, like anything that was crunchy. And then I was in the fridge, I was like, carrots, cucumbers.
I don't remember that. I wasn't there. That wasn't happening when I was there.
Well, anyway,
You were sitting there like... and you was white as a sheet. And that is what you call a whitey.
I thought a whitey Oh, stop, you're ruining my makeup. I thought a whitey was when you threw up.
No, well, yeah, you can throw up, but it's like you just go really sick and white and...
Anyway, I had enough. This is like 5:30. By 9 o'clock, I'd had enough, guys. And I was like, I'm going to bed. I was high all night. I don't know how hard I hit that vape. Bearing in mind, it's like, I don't know, what's 75% THC, guys. Yeah, fuck me up. And I was like, I'm not doing that again. I'm not touching it. I was like, nah. I messaged the GP and I was like, I'm so high.
What?
Right, basically, as part of the program I'm on, it's a company called Indra Clinic. So you pay a subscription and you get access to GP care at the same time. Anyway, so I've got my GP on WhatsApp. I was WhatsApping her like, I'm so high.
Oh, yeah.
And she was like, I think you've done it wrong. Did you read the instructions? I said, no.
No, never.
Nah. And then she said, you're supposed to microdose on it and start really small. So obviously I went in way too hard. So it put me off. But then I've learned how to control it. And now I've learned how to control it. Oh my God. Like if I've got a shoulder pain, little, and it goes. If I've got a little headache, little, and it goes.
That's good. How long does it take to kick in?
Not that long, actually. It's quite quick.
It's good then.
Like
It's
much
kind of
quicker than codeine. 5 minutes maybe, if that.
And it's better than codeine, really.
You just feel relaxed. Like your whole body just relaxes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where codeine's a bit strong and scary if you're using that all the time.
Like, don't get me wrong, codeine does what codeine needs to do. It's the withdrawals for me.
Yeah.
I'll literally take it and then I itch. I spend my life scratching and I'm like out scratching all the time. And
When you do codeine, it takes you out and you just have to go sleep.
Do I?
Yeah. Like I feel like when you have painkillers like that, and you sit there waiting for them to kick in, and then they do, and then it's just like
I'm mong
it's
out.
hours later, you ain't done nothing.
See, these are things that I don't even notice, guys. But have you noticed how much better I've been
But I
since
haven't noticed
switching?
you doing it.
You haven't noticed me doing it, but have you noticed me doing other stuff?
Yeah, you've been getting on with it. Well, you
Yeah.
have been getting pains this week, but it could just be because we've been busy, and you know, like
Yeah.
the busier you are, sometimes the body can't handle it.
We're in half-term hell, guys. No, I don't even think that's true. We are in half-term.
It's
Yeah.
normally half-term hell because we're
Yeah.
the most unorganised parents usually, and at least we leave everything last minute. So then when half-term comes, we're like, shit, what do we do with the kids? And we pull our hairs out. We do stuff last minute. It's not well thought out, and they hate it. So normally it's half-term hell, but we're halfway through now.
It's been
And
so
we've
good.
planned it. We pre-planned half term. Well, Dell did most of it. Well, you've done this week. I've done next week.
So far, it's been planned to, I would say, except for one thing, like perfection. So what we've realised this week is there is a big difference between inside kids and outside kids.
Yeah, massively.
Yeah, so usually half term the kids just want to stay at home, and I'm like, you know what, you go to school all the time, fair enough, we'll stay at home, but they end up watching telly or gaming, and I find it really hard and overwhelming to be constantly doing stuff with the kids. Like, it's not my favourite thing. I love having kids. I hate engaging in kid play, which sounds horrible, but it's not for me, guys. I don't find joy in it.
I did say to you before, there's a scientific, I don't actually know if this is true or not, I don't know where I heard this, but there is something within a man's brain chemistry that when they play with the kids and the kids are having fun, there's something in a man's brain that it's like a dopamine hit. And from playing with a kid, we can then feel really happy and satisfied too. But with a woman, you don't have the same thing, whatever it is. I don't know what it is, we need to check this. But whatever it is, you don't have it. So it's kind of like when you play with the kids, you have to do it because you're doing it for the kids' enjoyment rather than your own enjoyment.
Oh yeah, that do you know what that does sound about right? Did you find it? Did you get it up?
Yeah, it says here, there's a co-evolution between dads and babies. They both get their biggest peak of oxytocin when they play together.
Oxytocin, that's it.
But why the man and not the woman?
I think it's probably both, but maybe it opens something up more in a man than in a woman. I feel like women probably have it more innately than men do.
Do you think this goes back to like the olden days when it's like the women stayed at home with the kids all day and the men were at work? So when the men came home, they were the fun ones. They played with the kids before bedtime, but the mums literally do everything to keep children alive. Not saying that we do that. We don't have that dynamic whatsoever. But do you think that's where it comes from?
Probably, I would say it's like that nuclear family thing, especially with dads. Not so much anymore, but traditional families, they tend to be working still a lot. You know, whereas women are at home with kids all the time. So probably just being around their kids full stop gives them like oxytocin.
Yeah, it's actually like crazy.
Separation makes the heart grow fonder.
Yeah, maybe. Because I was at my friend's house the other day and her partner got home from work. He's got what I would say is a mucky job, like a building job. He went straight up, had a shower. Whilst he was showering, we had the kids obviously, and she was cooking dinner. And I was so inspired because I was like, this is kind of what it was like for me growing up. My dad would get home at like 4:30, go and have a shower, come down. He cracked a beer and was like watching her cook the dinner. And I was inspired by watching her cook the dinner, right? Because I'm not a cook. But she said, oh, it's just chicken salad. Mate, this chicken salad, no, I can't even.
Chicken salad, I told you.
No.
It's good dinner.
No, this chicken was like perfectly seasoned, smelled beautiful.
Was it a whole chicken, like on the bone?
No. So actually she did say this is one of the dinners where she gets the chicken from Waitrose. So it comes like pre-seasoned, you put it in the oven. She said this is an easy dinner, right, guys? This salad, easy dinner to me would be chopping up a bit of lettuce and cucumber. This salad had bacon bits, it had pomegranate, it looked so good. She'd boiled potatoes, crushed them, put them back in the oven. Like honestly, it was giving gourmet chicken salad. I said to my friend's partner, you do not understand how lucky you are because Christian would not be getting that at our house.
I don't have a mucky job though. I'm at home all day.
Even when you were at work, you'd be coming home and I'd be going, what's for dinner? Like we never had that dynamic of like, oh, I do all the women stuff and you do the man stuff. It's just, that's never been me.
I don't know if either of us are very homely.
No, we love being at home. We're never anywhere other than home.
But home,
we're not domesticated, you mean?
Domesticated, maybe, what's the word? Like
I don't find joy in cooking.
Cooking, for one, I hate cooking. We both hate cooking.
Just because we're both so bad at it.
Well, no, but you can get good at stuff if you keep doing it. But I don't like cooking full stop. It just is so messy.
I don't like cooking, but when I rustle up something's good, every now and again I rustle up something's all right. Last night's dinner was gross. I feel really proud of myself.
Yeah.
When I have good routine and I rustle it up and then we have a good evening flow, I think, oh, I'm so proud of us. But yeah, anyway. So half term, planning the half term. So I wanted a good balance. So I kind of booked something for every other day because I thrive on routine and plans, but I'm not good at making the plans. But I was like, you know what? Here's 4 things I want to do. So the Mario movie was coming out. So I booked that. And that was like an afternoon thing. So we had the day where the kids could chill and then we're going to do that in dinner. Some of these things aren't going to be age appropriate for most of your children, but for context, our daughters are 5 and 9.
I think up to primary school age, most of this stuff is appropriate.
Yeah. So I went to Priory Farm and Gardens, which is a place, it's about 40 minutes from us. So we don't mind a drive to go and do things. It was really nice. They had an Easter egg hunt on, or like an Easter trail, like an Easter carrot trail. You have to find the carrots.
Yeah, that was it. You have to find the carrots. I think it's there all year round, but they've made it Easter.
This was like Easter themed, yeah, but it was just so nice there. And it wasn't massive. So we were there for a couple of hours. They had a really good playground, but this is when I really noticed the difference between inside kids and outside kids. So like there's a place up there called Logoland where the kids like walk along this log trail.
Yeah.
And there were young kids just getting up and getting on with it, whereas our kids wanted their hands held and they're a bit more like, oh, about it. Other people's children get so close. And I don't know whether it's a me thing. I don't really like people in my personal space. But like the children were obviously anxious and these other kids were breathing down their necks. And I was thinking, how do you say to other people's children, sorry, can you just back up? I don't want to be that person.
Step back. I do. I like being that person because someone needs to tell the kids. And there's a difference between helicopter parenting and like clearly trying to show your kids something. And our kids, 9 and 5, they're quite old, but they're not used to being outdoors all the time. So these other kids were obviously been out a lot and got all the balance down and they're more confident throwing themselves about. Where our kids needed a little bit of a hand. Yeah, they looked older, but there's no need to be like making comments and running running in front of them, being like, come on, get in front of them, get in front of them.
Yeah.
Or stepping on them when they're clearly trying to walk along this log and they're not happy.
There was
So
just
it's
no
like,
personal space, and the parents weren't even saying, like, come on, back up, give them space.
Yeah, the parents weren't there. They were having lunch or whatever, so they would just let their kids have them, which is fine, but as long as your kids got manners.
Yeah, it's true. I love Prairie Farm, though.
So what I've always said is our kids are indoor kids.
Yeah, our kids are indoor
They are
kids.
iPad kids, and like we're fine with that.
I don't want them to be, though. That's why I made the plans, because I want to be out and about.
I think there's a taboo about iPad kids, and I don't think they should be. I think the way the world is going nowadays, you need to be into the newest technology. You need to be ahead of the curve. Yeah, there is a difference between always being on your iPad, which is what we're talking about while we're getting them out. But there's nothing wrong with an iPad kid as long as they're using it to like the best of their abilities, not just watching shitty little YouTube videos.
Yeah. So anyway, Prairie Farm and Gardens was really good, guys. We did the cinema. Colchester Zoo. I don't know what the fuck is going on with that place. Honestly, what a big old hot mess that was.
Yeah.
So boring.
I actually think zoos full stop. I think we only went to this one because we went to Colchester Zoo back when Isla was...
It was about 3, wasn't she? 2 or 3? 2. Was she 2?
Yeah, we loved it there. And I think...
Well, actually, I don't know. I don't think we did love it there. I actually remember Isla having a breakdown and we were enjoying it, sort of. And Isla didn't love it. And now after revisiting, I kind of get why she had the breakdown the first time. Like, it is a lot of walking, right?
Yeah, we went back and it was... I have this thing about signage. Like, I need to know where the hell I am. And signage needs to be clear. Maps need to be clear. Maybe it's because I used to work for Merlin Entertainments and I had really good maps. And
So
it was all very clear.
You're saying that Legoland have got their maps down?
Yeah, Legoland, Chessington, Thorpe Park, anyone like under Merlin, they've got it down. The signage is on point.
Christian's got it down, guys. So if you ever go to these theme parks, just know that Christian played a part in navigating you around these theme parks.
Yeah, that's true. That was...
But not Colchester Zoo.
Not Colchester Zoo. I don't know where the hell I was. I was looking at the map and I was walking thinking it was a passage, and it turns out it was a massive building in the way. And then we had to go around a long way. There's no clear route to go to all the different places. You'll end up walking back on yourself and you're like, wait a minute, I've seen this already.
Hardly any of the animals are out, and the animals that I don't know, I kind of had a thing. I got to the giraffe bit and I had this realization, and I was just like, this is incredibly sad. I haven't done no research to know if they're like rehabilitating animals or whatever, but it felt really sad. Anyway, it was a lot of walking. The kids are really fucking bored, and I even said to Christian under my breath at one point, I was like, I'm not surprised the kids are bored. I'm really fucking bored as well. Let's just go. And then I booked him for the soft play because you have to book a time slot, and literally as soon as we got in there, someone else's kid fell on Cece's head and just ran off. She's in there screaming, and like, Cece doesn't cry a lot, does she?
Elbow to the head, yeah.
Elbowed her in the head and didn't even say sorry. And you know, you just think, oh my god.
Well, no, we heard the crying. We literally hadn't even sat down, and we heard her crying. We couldn't find her for ages, and she was just lying on the floor upstairs. And that's not like a...
Yeah.
I should at least come up and try and find us. But
Boys are just very boisterous, aren't they?
arseholes. Again, other people's kids, but
I know
what can
our
you
kids
do?
aren't perfect, but yeah.
They're not
It was like
perfect, but I don't think they'd be like... They'd show a bit of empathy.
We went to Willow's Farm yesterday. Oh my god, it was so good, wasn't
Yeah,
it?
contrast is light and day.
Such. I'd looked on their social media before getting there, and I said to Christian, I'm a bit worried, it is a bit busy. But when we got there, it was so good. But there was like a little ride. It was like a kid's ride, like a swing that went round. Anyway, Cece was waiting specifically for the pink chair. So she rode the ride, and the ride wasn't busy. Like, the woman was like, you can stay on the ride, and when the pink chair comes available, I'll move you. So she rode it, and then the lady moved her, and then another kid wanted the pink chair. Of course, they all want the pink chair, and the dad was like, can she come on with you to Cece? And Cece was like, no. And I was like, that's a bit arsehole, and maybe I should step in at that point and say, actually, Cece, let the girl come on with you.
I got the impression she was a little bit freaked out with this guy talking to her. And that's
Yeah.
why she was pointing to us, because she was, didn't know what to say to this
Stick
guy.
up-
Like,
yeah, it was weird.
And also with Cece, people think she's way older than she actually is. Like, there was
Yeah.
this kid that was running around in this park at Colchester Zoo, actually, and she was doing like the monkey bars and the balance beams. And again, Cece was just learning. And this kid was like, well, I can do this easy. Look at this. I'm trying to show off. And she was probably shorter than Cece. I was like, I bet you're older than her. And she was like, yeah, I'm 7. I was like, yeah, right. Well, Cece's 5. Like, she's, what's the difference?
Not Christian getting into it with the 7-year-olds at the park. Yeah, well, Cece's only 5.
Some of these kids need to be taken down a peg. Even if I would want someone to say that to my kid, if my kid was being all uppity like that. And I know Cece will be, because that's what she's like sometimes.
Have a reality check.
Yeah, have a reality check. Like, come on, all right.
Anyway, back to the thing with Cece and this guy. I wanted to share the thing. I was like, do you know what? Good for you, Cece. Good for you for saying no, actually, because she'd waited for her turn and she didn't want to share it.
She just felt uncomfortable, and if you feel uncomfortable, just
but I love the fact that she said no. She knew what she wanted and she said no. Whereas some kids will be like, oh yeah, because I feel that's what I have to do. But then we were both standing there trying not to crack up laughing, which was quite mean.
We was too close to.
The guy was like looking at us to intervene, and we just.
He didn't look at us. I think he looked at, because Cece actually pointed at Isla and was like, oh, what's your sister going on? And Isla was like,
nope.
No. And at that point, we're close enough to be like, oh no. Or say something to Cece like, oh, let her go on. Or, oh, can you just let her? We just let Cece do her thing. And didn't say one thing to this guy. Cece handled it. She had it covered.
She did. That's why.
So we've had a really good week. Really good week. And we planned it so we did something on one day, had the next day to recover, went to another place, recovered the next day, and it's worked out really well.
So now today is a day of rest before.
Yeah, because we went to Willow's Activity Farm yesterday.
Yeah, on Easter Sunday. It was just so good, guys. You know, one of those days that just makes you feel like so wholesome and happy.
Yeah, it's big enough to be like wander about and not feel busy, but not big enough to be overwhelmed.
Yeah, you can move on to the next thing pretty quick, like keep the kids engaged.
Anyways, I'm going to show you my bag. Shall I get the bag out?
Guys, Christian's got a new bag that he's desperate to show you. And
I just wanted, maybe it's just overcompensating for my, I balanced stuff out. So I got
his beard products in.
So I've got a really manly, strong beard. But I'm not really like a masculine, manly guy. So
masculine.
Musculine. Obviously, I'm radiating manly energy right now because of my thick, luscious tash.
So manly.
And my not patchy beard. And I don't like that. I don't like being too manly. So especially my fashion, sometimes I go a bit feminine, which is fine, obviously.
Oh, so you're not trying to add to the masculinity with this new purchase?
I'm balancing it out with this bag. And every time I get a bag from this place, it's always mixed messages on the general public. Some people really against me having bags like this because it's too feminine.
I think some people are against men having bags full stop.
I think
that's a society problem.
And I just wanted to talk about it because...
Go on, let's do a bag reveal. Come on.
What his feelings are.
Come on, let's do a bag reveal.
Get a bag out.
Get your bag out for the lads.
Songmont. This is the company Songmont. It's probably like the only place I go for bags. And this time I've gone for like a medium-sized satchel over-the-shoulder bag.
I actually don't know because I went to have a look at this the other day when I got in. He was like, oh, what are you doing? What are you doing unboxing my bag? He said it just like that as well.
I did because it is my bag.
It's going to be my bag though. Sometimes when Christian gets a really nice piece, I put dibs on it.
This is actually the first time I'm opening it, so this is reveal.
So while Christian shows you his bag, I'm going to do like a run through of things that are more commonly accepted when women do them versus when men do them. But I want to know if you think it's facts or not facts, basically. So appearance and fashion, wearing makeup or cosmetics, is it for men or is it for women? I just think it's for everyone, to be quite honest. I even think the manliest of men nowadays could benefit with a bit of concealer because we live in a tired society. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. I've heard that the YSL concealer for men is good. I haven't tried it yet.
What, the Touche Eclat? Or
I don't know what it is. My friend suggested it. Obviously, I was looking tired, but I haven't tried it yet.
It's a men's concealer pen, apparently, which I don't.
It's a men's
agree with that
concealer.
in. I think all cosmetics should just be for men and women.
yeah.
It's the same thing.
But maybe we do have different skin types, which is why.
I think it's a marketing thing having the men's concealer. But yeah, I've been told to try that.
Wearing dresses, skirts, or traditionally feminine clothing. I think that's for everyone.
It can be for everyone, yeah. But I genuinely don't think I would look good in skirts or dresses.
I think some men pull them off. Mikey is point in case there.
Yeah.
My guy looks great in a skirt.
He does, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, dyeing your hair.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah. Although I do have to say for men, some men really peak when they turn into silver foxes.
Yeah, but some men don't get that. Some men just lose their hair right before going.
But then they would have no
Grey.
hair to dye. They'd be dyeing their scalp. Some of these are so weird. Having a wide variety of accessories, jewellery and handbag.
And that's coming more popular for men. But this,
Right,
I don't know
so-
what you specifically think about this bag, sorry. This bag
Sorry,
is-
can you stand up? That looks ridiculous.
It's because I got it around the body. That's not how I would wear it. I would,
How would you wear it?
hold
Show
it.
us.
I like holding bags. This looks like a good holding side. I'm not too sure about the aerodynamics on it.
I actually really like that. For me, I'm looking at that thinking crossbody
Like-
under. Yeah, that.
Like
That is
this.
a perfect bag. Songmont just get it right every time. I think one of my most asked about handbags online is one that you had that I commandeered for myself.
And the good thing about this is the leather over time will start getting wear on it. So the more it ages, the better it will look.
It's all about timeless pieces. This is kind of quite luxury, I would say.
Yeah.
That is like really no logos. We don't really do logos in this house, full stop, do we?
No. And actually, I feel like this is probably would be better for you because I'm just not sure about the shoulder use for me on this one. So yeah, guys and bags, what are we saying?
Here's some other things while we're on the subject that according, well, I asked chat on this situation just for some examples for us to talk about. We'll talk about AI in a little bit, guys. So this says crying in public, expressing vulnerability or fear openly, showing affection with your friends, e.g. hugging, or talking openly about your feelings. Oh my God, that really pisses me off. Men's mental health is so important. Like, honestly, sometimes I even feel like you suppress and you think that it's not okay to talk about things, and I wish you would open up more.
I think it's just, for me specifically, it is not having that in society that men don't do that. So how do we do that? It's like we almost need a guide on when I need to express myself and when it's okay, and what triggers am I looking for that I'm bottling it up, because sometimes I don't know I am until it's too late.
Which, how scary is that, guys? Like, I think men's mental health, more so than ever with the weight of everything that men take on nowadays, is so important. I think the world has shifted massively, right, since what we spoke about earlier, where men went to work and women picked up the slack. Like, often more than not, both parents are doing both now because of financial reasons and whatever, and yet men still carry this burden of I can't talk about my mental health, even though, like you said the other day, you're worrying about all of us all the time, and who is there to support you? Yeah,
and I think that's probably the reason why I bottle it up, because everyone else is going through so much that I know anyway, that it's like, who do I talk to that is kind of not a third party but someone impartial?
Yeah,
that's not going through their own thing. I don't want to be a burden on anyone.
Yeah.
And I think for men specifically, even if you did want to open up, there's not really like anyone guiding you through it.
Yeah, well, actually it's really interesting. I don't know his name. He's the bare knuckle fighter guy. He did that interview once where he was like, I'd rather fucking eat pizza and be happy than be ripped, you know?
Oh yeah.
Do you know who I'm talking about? Well, he's, I think one of his friends must have committed suicide, and he released a statement which really resonated with me, and he was like, I'd much rather my friend cried on my shoulder than me having to attend their funeral. And it's so real, and I feel like so many men would much rather their friend just opened up and spoke to them without their friend feeling like a burden than bottling it all up.
Yeah,
I think it's just a feeling. Maybe we're just like hardwired.
Yeah, I agree. I think there's not much guys out there that's in their feelings in the public eye.
Yeah. Oh, here's some interesting ones. Being openly nurturing or maternal towards children, like even other people's children. So like when the girls come around with their kids, you love cuddling a baby and all that.
Oh yeah. So I do get broody, and that's kind of when like there's a toddler running around, it's nice to play with them. But you get that part, but you don't have to.
You can hand them back.
You can hand them back.
Yeah.
So it's just a little pick me up.
Babysitting or working with young children without suspicion. Not that there was ever any suspicion on it, but there was this really funny story once, because where Isla used to have a babysitter, and amongst that group of babysitters there was one guy, babysitter, childminder, and no one ever cast suspicion on him. But once we were at a playgroup, and was it Christmas? I think it was Christmas.
I get confused between Christmas and Halloween.
Yeah.
Because of
my guy turned up to the kids' playgroup with black top hat on and a face painted like a snowman, but it was like
snowman,
all white face, big black eyes, and then a carrot nose, and it was actually terrifying.
It looked, I know what he's going for, a snowman, but I think he made the black eyes a bit too big that he looked like a skeleton. So it was more like Nightmare Before Christmas.
It was so scary.
Yeah. But he dyed his hair as well. He used to dye his hair.
Did he? But like bright colours?
Oh no, but like you were saying about earlier about the chat saying.
Are you sure he wasn't just blonde?
Oh yeah, they were highlights. They were highlights.
Are you judging him for that?
No, I'm just.
It seems like you're judging him.
Yeah, no, I do know what you mean. A bit of a weird feeling of a guy childminder, but.
No, but I don't think that men should be judged for what they like. Because if a woman chose to be, I don't know, I was a painter and decorator for 17 years, and do you know how hard it was being in that environment where everyone was like, oh, it's really weird that you see a woman do that job. I just think people are different now, and you just got to do what you like.
Yeah, I loved it. You look so good in your overalls. I loved your overalls. They were so good. So cute. Talking about chat, like, would you use chat to parent. Do you know what I mean?
I actually use chat as a therapist, full stop. But what do you mean use it to parent? I need some context.
So, like, if you get into a situation with kids, because I get to a point where sometimes I'm thinking, who gave me kids?
I did.
Because
from my vagina.
yeah, I get that. Thank you. I appreciate it. I'll always
Just to clarify, one from the vagina, one from the sunroof.
the sunroof. I'll always be thankful for that. Thank you. Appreciate
You're
it.
welcome. I need to touch on the fact that everyone that meets our children says, "Oh, don't they look like dad?" And I'm like,
That's personal preference. Sometimes
All that hard
people say
work.
they like you, and I don't get offended. Work on yourself. Anyways, I was saying before you interrupt me for the 150th time.
get over it.
Why have I got kids? Because I still feel like I'm in school, and I feel like I'm the worst parent ever, and I'm like, I've now been tasked with raising these kids. So sometimes I get overwhelmed. I'm like, I don't know if I'm even doing the right thing. Would you ever turn to AI and be like, oh, I'm in a situation with my kid, they're not doing as they're told, what do I do? And then chat will give you some guidelines, and you just basically have your phone and read it out like.
No, but that probably would be quite helpful for me because I get to the point where I'm really overwhelmed and then I'm like screaming at him. No,
Yeah.
So
So then you can just say to chat, how do I deal with this in a calm, professional parent manner?
have you tried it?
No, but I'm saying, like, is that where I haven't actually? I've had that idea recently. I want to get into an altercation with the kids so that I can use it.
Rage baiting the kids so he can get on chat and be like,
Yeah.
you do that and you feedback next podcast on how that goes for you.
But do you think that's going to be a more common thing, like having chat wired into our, like, if we wearing glasses, it can watch you parent your kid and listen.
That's so
and it can give you guidelines in your ear, being like, okay, you should do this with your, and then it will diffuse the situation.
No, I don't like that idea. I don't like that idea at all. You know what? I already think the problem with society is, right, kids that go to school, they're already sitting in a system that is tailored to one kind of child, right? So the school system doesn't work for every child. And I think with how neurodiverse a lot of children are nowadays, and like every child has different needs, I think as a parent, it's your responsibility to learn how to parent your child and like their different needs. And yeah, you can ask chat and chat might be able to do it better than you, but then you might as well have a robot raising your child. Whereas I think like the quirks of being a parent, and like maybe sometimes you do get it wrong, and like I live with the everyday fear that I'm going to cause childhood trauma for the children and be like, oh god, we took them for all these nice days out, but actually the one thing that they're going to take from it is that we made them wear a pair of jogging bottoms that they didn't like. Do you know what I mean? Like, I have all these irrational fears, but I personally wouldn't use chat to raise the children because I feel I've got the sort of personality where I'd become reliant on it. And then if I'm in a situation where I have to do it myself, say I ain't got no Wi-Fi, what am I going to do then? I'd be sitting there imploding.
Yeah, but you'd be learning yourself because you're the one that's having to act out what the chat's advising. I'm just saying, just sprinkle it in.
Oh, you're trying to make me a gentle parent?
I'm not saying that I would do it. I'm just saying that is that
Sounds like
where
you're
the
thinking
future
about it.
could be going?
I don't know.
Because what I'm saying is AI is being integrated into daily life everywhere. That is going to be incorporated into parenting soon. And there's going to be some sort of product being like, use this AI because we will help you parent.
I think it's already happening. I bet there are some parents that do that. I could have gone to AI and said, AI, can you plan a 2-week half term for me? But I didn't, and I felt so proud of myself after. I think that's the other thing.
Well, I did ask AI to plan the Amsterdam trip, but the problem with that is it becomes very generic and you don't find the best spots. It'll just come up with whatever the most popular on Google, and that can be quite dangerous anyway because Google's obviously the first thing that comes up is just what's been boosted the most, like ad-wise, what's been paid to be put in your face. So you end up going to all these probably overcrowded, overpopularized places rather than...
I think chat has its place. At the moment, I wouldn't use it for parenting, but the one thing I do use it for is restructuring the way I word things to give a different tone. So like if I'm angry, I can put all my angry thoughts down, put it into ChatGPT, and then it narrates it in a way that isn't so angry and is actually a better line of communication.
Yeah, I think that's what it's good for.
I use it to not burn bridges.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah. What is the pettiest thing you've done as a parent?
Use AI to give them a bollocking.
Maybe we should put a trigger warning on this. If you are listening with your children, it might be a good time to turn off because we're going to talk about things that little ears might not be ready to hear quite yet. Unless you want to ruin their childhood, then please keep this on. Making the slices of cake uneven on purpose so the kid who's complained all day gets a smaller piece and then acting completely innocent about it.
Yeah, you know what? That's very good because I know firsthand that kids proper measure and look
Yeah.
at how big each cake is, slice of cake. So like, I know Ida does that, and strategically she's working out which is a bigger cake, even if there's you can't even tell the difference.
But I feel like I would be like, yeah, you've got the smaller bit because you've been a dickhead all day. I wouldn't act innocent on that. I would just be like, yeah.
Yeah, you could do that too, yeah.
I do think that's petty, but I also think that's really funny.
I think it's genius, yeah.
Yeah,
I think
genius.
Yeah, good.
When my child refuses to eat their dinner but later says they're hungry, I serve them the exact same plate again, just reheat it a couple of times. Oh, I've got major childhood trauma from this, and I actually think this is why I've got an eating disorder now.
Yeah, I think that's not petty. I don't. That's not petty. That's
disgusting.
That's traumatic.
That is. If they didn't eat it the first time, it's probably because they didn't like it.
Yeah, you got to give them some grace somewhere.
Yeah, that is petty, but that's also disgusting. Turning the Wi-Fi off on just one child's device after they've been especially annoying while everyone's still on theirs.
Ooh.
Our kids would clock onto that so quick. They'd be on the Wi-Fi. They would
just
be
on the device, yeah.
I feel like, well,
that's not clever enough.
Not for our kids, but that is quite funny though. It's out of order in a way.
That'd be so infuriating. Imagine if our Wi-Fi went off, or like we had no internet.
Calling my child by their full name, middle name included, in a very calm voice, not because they're in trouble, but because the parent knows instantly it puts them on edge.
That's playing with them, their anxieties. That's well out of order. No, that is not petty. That's evil.
I feel like that wouldn't work in our house also, because when I want to speak to the girls, I will use their full names. So I'd be like Celine James or Isla Maeve, because I love their names. So I don't want to associate their names with...
Yeah.
I don't want them to feel anxious when someone says their name. That's actually just quite mean.
I agree.
Taking the batteries out of an obnoxiously loud toy and saying, oh no, it must be broken.
That's not petty. That's smart and logical, and a parenting 101.
Yeah, that's been around since the dawn of time as well. My grandpa used to take the rattles out of any toy that rattled, and they always talk about it because they thought my grandpa was a genius for that.
Yeah.
Because he just didn't like listening to them.
Yeah, but you kind of use it up to a certain age, because now Isla will pester the life out of you, be like, got batteries for that? Got batteries for that yet?
Yeah.
Got batteries for that yet?
But also, I made Cece's Easter bonnet, by the way, for Easter bonnet show. Iconic AF. Just like to give myself some credit for that. And I took the rattle out of one of the bunnies I used, and Isla was fuming. She made me put the rattle back in and stitch it back up.
Yeah, you even said it was in the bin, and she was asking me to get it out the bin. And I was like, why are you talking to mummy about this? Why is mummy not getting out of the bin?
No.
Why has it come to me again to get the
If anyone's a
bin
bin raider in this house, it's going to be you.
You're the one who used to eat dinner out of a bin, so...
This is something I do all the time. This is really mean. Turning the TV off mid-scene like it's a power move. Especially when the kids don't listen.
Yeah, that is... Yeah, you just got to wait till the end of the episode. That's what I try and do, is I try and keep an ear out to when the credits go off, because I do think it's out of order. Let's say if they're really invested in a story, no matter how shit it might be, they're still invested in that story, and you just cut it off. How frustrating would that be if someone did that to you?
Yeah, like, to be fair, when we ask them to come off their devices, we say finish what you're doing and come off. But if I've asked you 17 times to go and brush your teeth, and you've started a new episode and you're halfway through it...
Oh, yeah, if they started a new
I'm
episode...
going to turn that off halfway through just to piss you off.
Yeah, but if
I'll wait till you're fully invested and not listen to me, and then I'll just switch it off and say go brush your teeth. No, you should have listened to me the first time.
Yeah, so if they've started a new episode after you said at the end of this episode come off, yeah, I get that. But if they're in the middle of one and you've had to repeat yourself, just wait till the end of the episode.
Calling their names repeatedly, and then when they finally answer to me, I say, what?
That just sounds like a bit of fun, man. What's the point?
Yeah, but it's pay though, isn't it? It's meant to be pay.
Oh yeah, because they do say our names constantly. So there is a lot of petty things that parents do that it's not just us.
Tell us all the petty things that you've had to do during half term, because I think by the time this goes out, we'll be halfway through half term for some, but some people may have wrapped it up.
Yeah.
I think we'll just wrap it there because we've got some packing to do. But if you made it this far, thanks for listening.
And we'll see you in the next one.
Well, we won't see them. They'll hear us.
We'll hear you.
You'll
hear us in the next one. Join us next time. Bye, guys.
Bye.